I find watching videos on stuff is just not very helpful. Like, it's good for like an overall picture. You can kind of get like an idea of what you should be doing. Where it'd be like, oh, I make game objects and all this stuff. Nothing replaces just sitting down and getting your hands dirty. Like, I'll watch a video and they'll say things and I'll be like, I understand this. And then I'll go try to write it and I'll be like, I don't understand this. So videos are just never done it for me for learning how to program. There's nothing that teaches you how to program better than banging your head against the wall until you paint a picture made of blood. So update locomotion in the area. The current velocity, the new velocity plus this. Is it that we are adding to our z velocity when we jump? I'm assuming it's probably that our direction vector, we're actually adding the z. Well, the jump vector should always be this. So why in the hell it would be direction vector? So it's like setting our wanted velocity. Oh, that's probably what's going on. Is that like we set our wanted velocity. So even though we're running along the ground, like it's probably that we already had a velocity that was in the positive direction, but we didn't zero it out. So what we should do is when we're moving along the ground, we're setting our velocity wrong. Yeah, so current velocity equals the wanted velocity, and what should we be doing? Should we be setting any velocity in the z direction? Like, we're on the ground, right? So our wanted velocity should not be our current velocity. How to learn programming? Oh no. I already know it. Video and they'll say things and I'll be like, I understand this. And I'll go try to write it and I'll be like, I don't understand this. So videos are just never done it for me for learning how to program. There's nothing that teaches you how to program better than banging your head against the wall until you paint a picture made of blood. I fully support this message. So we're setting our current velocity to our wanted velocity. And we don't really want to do that, do we? We basically want to take this surface normal and our velocity should be something along those lines. Well, I've had to come up with a whole bunch of different analogies to have to explain programming concepts to people who aren't programmers like my parents, so I always try to come up with something that is humorous, because if you're talking about technical concepts with non-technical people, they don't want to fucking hear it if it's not funny. But it also needs to be very relatable. Kind of like I was comparing Unreal 4 to a factory that can be, like a factory that's configurable to make whatever the hell you want, versus like Unity, which is a factory that makes cars and you just like you change the basic make and model, but you're still going to be making something with 4 wheels, versus Unreal 4 where you can be like, we don't need wheels where we're going, and make whatever the hell you want because you can crack open that editor. So what do we want? We basically want to set our current velocity to, well, we want what exactly do we want? If we're moving along the floor, do we want Bitey to just snap and just work? Like, we're just... Movement distance is literally just the movement velocity y. So, I mean, I could just say, like, current velocity z is 0. And just be like... There we go. And that should prevent our super jump. And what that means is basically our vertical movement gets completely zeroed out for a velocity for our character when he is actually on the ground, traveling along the ground. That's not awful. Yeah, that is totally true, Pladdington. And now the question would be, who's right? And the answer to that is probably neither. Neither side. Because it's probably from a different context. Like if you pull down the editor for Unreal and you actually compile the code for it, then you can make it do whatever the hell you want. But if you're just using blueprints and everything, then yeah, you're totally screwed for doing other things. If it doesn't do what Unreal wants, then good luck. So why are we moving into the air here? And yeah, we're no longer super jumping. So let's just take a look at what exactly is going on with our scenes, because I think it's our stick to the ground after a sweep in the air. Yeah. It's interesting. So we're hitting something, and the normal is basically toasting us. So why is our sweep? I think it's our ray cast for our mantling when we swapped the axes is screwed up. Yeah, subjective to experience and also what you're doing, because it's all different. The thing is, I can crack open Unreal 4 and just like one of the things I did was I added a new update channel. And it's like you couldn't do that in Unity. You can't just crack open Unity and be like, I want a pre-update update loop right over here. It's usually both ways are equally valid, but I'm being paid to do it this way. That's also true. There's one truth in programming, and that is everyone has an opinion. If you have 11 different engineers, you're going to have 11 different ways to do something. So what we want to do is we want to look at our movement on ground function, and I think we're rotating. I don't think we need to do that hack we had with on the obstructed floor path. We were actually doing, I think it was the mantle stuff, where we actually rotate our normal by a certain amount or something. Where the hell is that code? And what was it? It was if like our... Alright, why the hell is there 100.0 in here? Okay, this is completely wrong, isn't it? We don't want 100. 100 in there is just our discovering ray trace. And we actually want a small number in here. So let's see, it was... This used to be something reasonable. I think it's like this. Let's see if that works. But I'm gonna have to find where I'm rotating that vector. Yeah, of course. Yeah, Plankton, you probably would not have liked to have worked there. Alright, so we changed our mantling vector. Sweet victory. So, let's see. After sweep, we are in the air as... Yeah, so it's over here and snap to floor, isn't it? So, we were saying our normal is too steep, attempting to cast in the negative normal to the direction. I think basically what we wanted was this guy right here, as far as I understand. We'll have to do some more wall climbing to make sure this is actually working properly, but I think this was a hack in there because we were getting bad numbers back from our sweeps before, and that was because we were actually inside of the objects. This is saying we're too far in the air. Well, let's see exactly why it's thinking we're too far in the air. Nothing's below us. Oh, it's not even this function. So what is... Oh, it's because it's this. Max distance is something else. Are we doing a... Yeah, we're doing a sweep. Closest distance of 4 is the blocking hit distance, and closest distance 4. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So, the ground is too far beneath us at 1 unit away. Just 1.05. Well, that's because we set it to a very tiny number. So let's see. Floor stick distance base is going to be times dt. I think it's going to be like 100 times dt, and then we're going to have, yeah, let's just see if that works. Maybe a 2. And yeah, we've got these seams in our geometry that are all sorts of screwed up. Like, you would never make a level with like that sort of crap sticking out of the floor if you could help it. The main thing is we made like a purposely shitty test level with like really awful geometry, as if you're like super drunk or high when you made it. And if we can get our character to run over that properly, then he'll run over a nice, well-crafted level with, you know, nicely seamed ramps and things like that, just fine. That's the theory, at least. Sticking to it. After a sweeper in the air, as the ground is too far beneath us at 2.5. Well, what are we? I'm printing out the max distance. Okay, that's... I'm just getting back into... actually focusing on what I'm doing here, I think. I know Adam didn't get to stream as much as he wanted this weekend because he's just been working on the Bob's Burgers. All the work, it's important, puts bread on that table. Alright, so it's 15 beneath us. Why is that? That's not 15 beneath us. So something's wrong with our code. Something's wrong with our code. There's never anything wrong with code. You're so bored you can't figure out what you want to do. Well. Yeah, Adam is he's an assistant director on Bob's Burgers, so he is a very large part of work on that project. On the animation side, he's an animator. So why is it 15? All right, let's just we're gonna have to print some of these things out, aren't we? Just, I want to make sure that I didn't screw something up horribly, because we should be impacting like real easily with this thing. So is it that our new position, we should be actually like moving this thing out a little bit? Is that what's going on? Anyway, is the floor too far? Our start, our position was %F, %F, %F. Yes, I am very fortunate to be working with somebody as skilled as Adam on this project. It's a big reason why I was like, super psyched when we're able to be like, hey, we should make that game. We should make that a reality. It's like, we should. I'm like, oh shit. And sweep direction, then we want the position, the direction. We want the surface normal. We're also going to want the actor, I think. Let's grab that surface normal. So we'll see exactly what's going on. It may be that the distance is wrong because we're getting distance in like the x-axis for our sweep. That might be a thing. Oh yeah, sure, whatever. Go ahead and promote all the things. You're a mod. You can do whatever you want. Well, not everything. I'll have to ban you if you do something bad, but I don't care. Post all the cool things, Karakan. Alright, so the sweep direction was in the negative z. The surface normal was +1 in the z-axis. Well, interesting. So why is it saying that the floor is too far beneath us? Because we should be, like, we got the right surface normal. I guess maybe we are... Maybe we need to float ourselves up a little bit. We need to do like a little upward nudge. Why don't we just do that? Why don't we just do like new position equals like negative down plus equals times like a very small value. We're going to call it this guy. We're gonna sell all the dragon artwork today. We're gonna start a little shopping channel. Oh, we've got some weird freaking math here, don't we? This might just be that this method is just all sorts of screwed up. Like it should. Yeah. What are we doing here? Suggested new position is impact point plus the penetration distance times the surface normal. Like the impact point should just be the location. Pretty sure. Like the problem was our transformation was wrong. So like impact point. This might be part of our problem. Is we got some of these hacks in here from before that are toasting our oats. And this one was all sorts of screwed up because of when we were doing the wall climb, we had problems, and then, you know. So I'm not super surprised we got some hidden nasties in this snap the floor. So what is going on? Closest distance to the floor is this. The impact point is such. We're casting down. The distance. Like our position was, our sweep direction was. The impact from the sweep is not correct, is it? How did this even compile? This should be that. It was actual impact point. So the impact point is such. Impact point plus pin distance times surface normal. Are you on a schedule? No. That's just that's because Twitch's little accounting for how many people are online and you know how long you've been streaming for is totally broken on their page. So I just threw up a clock in the background, and that's how long we've been streaming. I don't know if you can actually see it. You can see parts of it. There we go. That's better. Our position was 968. The impact from the sweep was at 936 and the Z. Was it 963? Position was 961, and the impact was 932. Well, this code shouldn't actually be that complicated. Like, basically what we're supposed to do is take our new position and do a sweep down and see how far it is, and we should lock ourselves to the floor based on that sweep. So let's see. Blocking hit dot location. And so is it that we actually want the location of the, like, this is the location of the object when we swept. Internet crashing. What? Yes, welcome back. So we're just trying to read over our code real quick we were snapping ourselves to the ground, and that's exactly what's going on with our position, because it's not correct. And what the hell were we doing when we wrote this code? Basically, it should be taking the impact point of the sweep and moving us a little bit out from the normal. So I mean, all of our other sweeps are looking fine, so it's really like impact point is not working, something like that. Yeah, because that's what we have been doing, is we haven't been working off of the impact point. We've been working off of the impact location and the like test position. That's what it looks like. I'm grabbing the impact location. Yeah, we've just been doing like the distance for the thing, and then calculating where we're supposed to be based on the distance. We haven't been taking that. So we should probably just like rewrite this whole damn function, shouldn't we? Because it's just all sorts of jacked up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna need the surface normal, and we're gonna need the closest distance. So trace start and end, we don't need those. Impact point, we just don't need that. Surface normal is fine. Direction is even used? I don't think we even use direction, so we'll just clean all this stuff up. Freaking out because the student has not yet become the master. Is that what he's going on? I mean, Luke kind of freaked out when Yoda picked up that X-Wing. That's impossible. So it's more likely we're actually just like putting ourselves into the freaking air. So we're gonna move ourselves a little bit up just to make sure our sweep doesn't get stuck in the floor, like we don't turn into Godzilla. Alright, so we should just be able to get rid of some of these scopes too, because we don't need them. Closest distance to the floor, we just chuck you right off, clean that up. Alright, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to create a surface normal.x is going to equal 0. And our suggested new position is going to be our current position. Instead of coming off of the point and then normal, what we're going to do is basically say it's going to be new position plus the direction, right? So we're going to sweep down to stick to the floor. And it's going to be times the distance to the floor, so closest distance to floor, and we're going to subtract from that a very, very small amount, the pen distance. And we're only going to set this like so. If closest distance to floor is less than the penetration distance, then we're actually going to need to go negative, which is fine, so just let that become negative. So we do the suggested new position, then we do an overlap test, and if it hits, we're good. Otherwise, it doesn't. Alright, we'll see if this works. Why do we have such strange... Do I have two fat sacks in this scene? Is that causing me problems? Are you over here doing things? Yes, that's looking pretty good. And then what's happening here with this? So our position was 651, and then our position on the ground was 58. Looks like we kind of came off the ground a little bit, and then when we moved, because we got jumped up a little bit. Maybe we shouldn't be doing our test position. Oh, well, this is why we're not using our test position, we're using new position instead. and that would kind of tend to bump us up in the air because each move would have bumped us up a little bit in the air. Hey, stream working. Are you in school for art or just streaming for fun? Well, I'm not an artist. I am an engineer. And I'm working on Dashkin, which is a speed-based platformer based in the Brackenwood universe, working with Adam Phillips on that. You might know him from the Mighty of Brackenwood and all that. And that's what we're doing. I went to school once. Alright, that's looking like he's moving pretty well there. His location is proper, and let's see, are we getting stuck on this wall again? Yeah, we are. But at least now that Z is staying constant, and then we got this guy giving us problems, which is fine. So we're back at, we've actually verified a few things are working correctly now. So good, excellent. Alright, cool. Well, yeah, we're right now today working on the movement for Fatsack, and we just got we're working on the air controls, so jumping and being able to move in the air a bit, and we've been working last week on making a move on the ground. It's a whole week. Oh no. Living in the vents. Well, hopefully you weren't living in the vents of the girls' locker room, because that would explain things. So we did like the jump today and all that stuff, which is pretty good. Thank you for following Reapazor. Reapazor, we are the Reapers. And we're getting stuck on this little thing, and we've got like mantling code and all that stuff. It's just we're getting little edge cases. And right now it's our snapping to the ground is what we're working on. So the sweep direction was -1, the surface normal was 1. After sweep we are in the air as we were too far, the ground was too far beneath us. It was at a distance of 6 with a max of that. So we were at 969 and then we got popped up, it looks like, to 974. So the reason we would have got popped up would have been because we were moving along. I'm betting this was a motion where we moved, we were kind of mantling, but we didn't actually mantle far enough over to the left on this object, because we got like we didn't get the right normal. So maybe we should set these floor sticky values to a little bit higher than what we got. And this is the little edge that's causing us problems, because I think it's what's happening is we're moving and then we're not actually colliding with the ground. We like moved ourselves up a bit to get over this, but we didn't move far enough over to then settle down on it. So let's see. 10 units is really not that far. Like 10 units is that's 10. So I think that's right now we're at 2.5 for our kind of stick to the floor sort of thing. So I think we can up it to 10 for our floor sticky. Be right back. Alright, cool. Also, I did do art in school once. We had to like take that whole learn to draw in 40 days thing. So we had like the art book and you had to draw sketches and go through it, and it was amazing how quickly you got better at art just by drawing a little bit. Like, you know, like instead of thinking about art as like some fancy skill that only people who are creative have, if you actually like took some time and like did some math, like, oh, this is like called perspective and foreshortening, and this is an actual like science of, you know, people actually, you know, art isn't just you wing it and like, you know, you can draw perfect circles and all that crap. There's only like a certain master race that can draw. It's like, no, like it's pretty much like a lot of other skills. You put in the time and effort, and you can improve quite a bit and not draw like stick figures like a moron. Yeah, I know. No shit, you get better at stuff by doing it. I know. I mean, I would have expected somebody who plays games and like levels up characters in games to understand that sort of crap, right? Right. Alright, so yeah, we're stuck in the wall. Oh god, what have we done? Ah, Fatsack is tunneling! He just quantum tunneled himself into the universe. Ah, what are you doing? Fatsack, get out of there! Buddy, please. Alright. So our mantling height was like all sorts of jacked up there, so we're gonna have to fix that. So we want our mantling height for Fatsack to be pretty small. Like, we shouldn't mantle that much. Mantle iterations is going to get set to... We set it somewhere here, don't we? He's faster than light. He is now light. So by definition, he is moving at the speed of light. He has information. Fatsack is not a corporeal entity. He is the universe. He is everything. You are Fatsack. I am Fatsack. We are all Fatsack. So where is this? We have our mantle iterations. Let's get max mantle iters, which is going to be this. So do we ever set the max mantle iterations? Mantle iterations is default mantle attempt count. So we need to set our mantling height, I believe. So we have like mantle iteration. And we should also have like our mantling height, shouldn't we? So I think right now for mantling, it just lets you mantle the whole dang way. And we'll have to do that. Join the cult. What's that clip word? You can clip whatever you want, I don't have a problem. So attempt mantle, new position. So we're gonna go up, so we're gonna do the raise and all these sorts of things. Do we have a do we have any sort of like mantling distance as a little fudge factor here? It looks like we don't. It looks like we just have like you can mantle as a thing. So we should probably have some sort of mantling distance thing here. So like, what we would do is if the absolute distance for settle start minus like new position is greater than a certain amount, then we don't mantle over it. I think that's what we want to do. But I think it should really be It's really the mantle distance of that step 2 ray direction and distance. It's not step 1, it's step... Yeah, the step 1 ray distance is going to be our height times I. And what we're going to want to do here is we're going to have like a mantle height. So ray 1 is perpendicular to the normal. So basically we're going to want to clamp this to our max mantle height. So we're going to... So if like step 1 ray distance is greater than or equal to our like get max mantle height, then what we're going to want to do is break. So we're not going to want to do it. So if step 1 ray distance is too high, and the iteration distance, yeah. So if I is 1, if it's the first time, then what we just do is we do step 1 ray distance equals get max mantle height, which should be less. So we should be able to no, it's not going to work, is it? It needs to be our height. The ray distance should be what, 1/2 of our height? No, not quite. Let's see. Right now the mantle distance is we take the height of the object and we're adding it in this direction so we can then cast the vector. And this is just vector discovery. So if we can find the point, then it's going to move in a little bit different. It's going to move the sweep 1 position. So I think this is the place to do it. So if it's the first one, we just do like your get max mantle height. Otherwise we break out of this. So kind of crappy simple code here, but not the worst thing ever. So we need to get and set max mantle height. Alright. Just get this written out here. Not a problem. And the default mantle height is, we're just going to say float Dashkin globals G default mantle height. We're going to set that to like 40. Keep setting it to max mangle height. the mangle height for a character. Alright, so, and in our biped movement, we can just say like set max mantle height to, we'll just set it to 40 for fat sack or whatever. So more compiling. Gotta love it. You love it, I love it, we all love it. Let's turn code into executable bits and bytes. We stand on the shoulders of giants. I'm writing little stupid code to move around a little blob of goo on the screen. And it's only because we have 60 or 70 years of people putting together logical equipment and scratching metal into silicon. So what else we got going on? Not a whole bunch today. Just working on movement. We're doing the jumps. And if we can get the kind of the jumps and in the air and the landing and all that, we're gonna need to make a few little test areas for jumping too. Like we need a little area that kind of looks like this. We got Fatsack jump up and like hit his head on the ceiling. But we'll do that once we get some of this floor control crap running how we want it. Oh, we're gonna zoom in real quick on that. And there's kind of a pile of hacks getting raycasting sweep collision code to act properly, but I think it's a worthwhile pile of hacks. It's not like the Halo 1 Warthog, no. That thing is legendary for how screwed up it was. Alright, so that's looking like it's working properly. Let's just double check and run Fatsack over some complicated terrain. He's doing his work. Just chunk, chunk, chunk.